We just got the final trailer for Fantastic Four, and I gotta say, this is the best trailer we've gotten for the movie. Now, in this trailer, we get a lot of new shots, and we have a lot of theories that were confirmed. Now that I know where the CCXP scene that was shown in Brazil fits in, I think I have a rough idea of what the movie's plot is going to be, and I'm gonna get into that later in this video so that I don't spoil you. So let's just get into the trailer breakdown. Now, we open with the Ted Gilbert show. This is just a late night talk show with a really famous host like in the real world, and we see him introducing the Fantastic Four. Now remember, in this world they're not just heroes, they're like worldwide celebrities and they're insanely popular. From interviews and leaks, we have found out that they've basically turned this earth into a utopia using their powers. Reed Richards, by using his big fat brain, pushed technology way past what it was in the actual MCU, and in the 60s they have like flying cars and rockets and going to space and all that, and that's because of Reed Richards. And apparently because of Sue Storm, all wars are basically gone from this world, and they have kind of solved world hunger. So their biggest problem in this world is going to be Galactus. Now, I don't know how they actually ended all wars, but I think it's not going to be delved that much into the movie. I just really want to know if they had World War II in this version, because it's the 60s and the space race really started because of, latent tensions from World War II, and that led into the Cold War, which led into the space race. I'm just getting way too deep into this, but I'd really like to know if this world had a World War II, because, the Fantastic Four have been around for just like 4 or 5 years, so I think it still happened, but I don't know who won here. Now, going away from this tangent, we see all the team members being introduced one by one, and you can see that even though Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman have, kind of normal looks, but Johnny and the Thing kind of look bored, or that they're annoyed. I think they're just so famous in this world that they've done this so many times, and that's why they're kind of bored. Then we immediately see all of their wristwatch things that give them warnings that there's something weird happening outside, and they run out of the building. Then we get a brief rundown of their names, and we get to see each of their powers. We see Fantastic stretching, Invis using her force field, Johnny Storm flying around, and for the Thing, it's not really a fight scene, it's just him walking around in the street and the pedestrians going and yelling at him, yo, scream that, say that line, say Clover in time. But then he says something interesting that it's just in the cartoon, and it's something that he never really said. I think that's an interesting choice for this universe, but even though if he never said it in the past, he's definitely going to say it in the movie, at least in the third act. That's what I think. And in an interview, Evan Moss Backrack did confirm that he threw in a lot of clobbering times here and there. He's not sure if any of them are going to make the cut, but he, as the actor, tried his best, and I think he's the best casting we could have gotten for Ben Grimm, because, man, he's so good in The Bear, and he was so amazing in The Punisher, and every other project he's just giving it his all, so I think he's gonna nail it in this movie as the Thing. Then the guy who was asking for him to yell clobbering time just ends up doing it himself, and Thing just smiles. And then we see Johnny Storm making the iconic 4 logo in the sky using his flames. Now, this is something that was shown in the 2005 movie as well, but usually in the comics it's just to warn the Fantastic Four that something's wrong and they need to team up. It's sort of their bad signal, and I'm just so glad that they're doing this in live action as well. We see Johnny kind of teasing Ben about the whole clobbering thing again, asking him what time it is, but he just says it's dinner time. As they go inside, they see their wristwatch things again, and it says danger, and we see this really cool shot of Silver Surfer coming down from a meteor shower. This woman just standing here aura farming for no reason is announcing his beginning, their end. She is heralding Galactus, and I think this is going to be an amazing scene in the movie. And as you can see, that when they first encountered them, Sue Storm is still pregnant. That means this happens before Franklin is born, and I think we're gonna spend some time, because in this trailer we also see Franklin as a baby. Then we see this interesting shot of Galactus's spaceship right on the top of the frame. If you can squint your eyes, you can see it, and a planet that looks like Earth. Now, why I said looks like Earth, because it has been said that the planet we've been seeing in the trailer that was being destroyed is not Earth. I think the name is Proxima Delphi, and it's a very similar planet to Earth, and the Fantastic Four are rumored to, go there and see Galactus actually devouring a planet, and I think we see that in this trailer as well. Before we get into that, there's this really cute detail of them walking across dirt and one of their shoes leaving a footprint with the Fantastic Four logo in it. I think that's really, really cute. Then we see them inside Ta-2, Galactus's ship, and I think this is the first time they're going to meet Galactus, because before this, Silver Surfer gave them a visit on Earth, and they've decided to go and meet Galactus, and that's how they learn about Proxima Delphi. They watch the planet get devoured by Galactus, and then they're just like, holy shit, never mind, we're out of here, we gotta go back to Earth and fix this shit. And they try to get into a ship and try to run away. We also see some shots of Galactus and his armor, more shots of Silver Surfer saying that their planet is doomed. And I cannot wait to see Galactus in the movie, and I'm so glad that they didn't reveal his face in the trailers. Even though we have a popcorn bucket and some promotional materials, his face is still covered and we have not seen it properly in the movie, and I'm so grateful that it's going to be in the movie and not in a trailer, because that would be tragic. Then we see them hightailing it out of there and Reed yelling at Ben to get them out of there. Now this is what the CCXP footage was. As you can see, that Sue Storm is still pregnant, and I think this is where she goes into labor, and that whole CCXP scene takes place where the Silver Surfer is chasing them. Basically, the rumors are, when they go to Galactus, they're like, hey man, don't eat our planet, we're cool, we don't really want to die. And Galactus is like, yeah, sure man, I won't eat your planet, but you gotta give me that baby of yours. And they're like, fuck no bro, we're out. And that's why the chase happens, and the Silver Surfer is sent after them to get Franklin Richards for Galactus. But that scene ends with Reed and the whole team potentially going into a black hole into another universe, but it just didn't show it in CCXP. After that, we see an exterior shot of the Ta-2, and this looks so cool and massive and menacing. And then we have journalists on Earth freaking the fuck out about Silver Surfer and asking them whether they're safe or not, whether they can save them or not, and Reed is like, I don't know. Then we see another shot of Invisible Woman walking out with Franklin Richards in her arms, and she's like walking through press, so I think this is after the Silver Surfer chase. We also see Reed in his thinking room. Now all of these sets are practical, which really blows my mind, because these are like huge sets and they look so good on camera, and I cannot wait to see this movie, because a lot of the sets are practical, the suits are practical, even Herbie is practical, which is wild, and they're really focusing on that in the marketing, because people really value practical effects now. And I think that's crazy, that's great, and I'm so glad that VFX artists are hopefully finally getting paid, and this is what they can do when you give them time. Even though if you have real sets, VFX artists still go in and make Galactus look amazing, these powers look amazing, Silver Surfer, she's a fully CGI character, so if you give them time, you're gonna get great results. Then we see the shot we've seen before with Galactus' shadow all over New York, and then we see Ben saying that he wants to crush Galactus, and Johnny agrees, but obviously they can't do that. And then we see them in the Fantastic Car going into hyperdrive and flying away. I think they are going to run away from Galactus. Galactus is gonna come to New York. After they run away from him, he's gonna try and find Franklin. They're not gonna have Franklin because he's gonna be left at the Baxter building with Herbie. They're gonna be out and trying to fight him, but Galactus is gonna be like, nah bro, fuck off, I'm gonna get that baby, and he's gonna start walking towards the Baxter building to get Franklin Richards, and this is what we're seeing, and this is why the Fantastic Four is chasing Galactus, so that he doesn't get the baby. Now here we see another shot of Franklin, Reed, and Sue together, and they look really cute as a family. And we have this really nice tender moment between the Thing and Sue Storm. I'm really interested to see their relationship in the movie, because they're really good friends in the comics, and it's just, she's the heart of the team and Ben is the gentle giant, and I think their dynamic is really, really cute, because Ben is like an older brother to her, and I think that's really nice. We see this weird device beside the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I don't know if the Fantastic Four added this or if it was Galactus, but I think it's part of the whole third act sequence where the planet might get destroyed. Now we have another interesting shot here. We see a lot of civilians underground. Now, in the movie, Mole Man is going to appear in an opening montage, and that's how the movie is going to start. We will see them defeating Mole Man and defeating Red Ghost, and I think Mole Man is going to come back and they're going to convince him to let these people go underground. So Mole Man and Giganto are going to help the civilians underground, so up there the Fantastic Four can fight Galactus, and I think that's what we're seeing here. And after that we see another very interesting shot. It's just, Sue Storm looks really beat up here, and she looks like she's really, really happy to see Franklin, and Reed is just bringing Franklin to her in the middle of battle, so I think it's definitely not the middle of battle, I think it's the end of it. And here's where the latest rumors come in. If you don't want to get spoiled, click away for like 30 seconds, then come back, or just skip ahead in the video. But the leaks are that at the end of the movie, to push Galactus into a different universe, Invisible Woman is going to use all her powers, and that's effectively going to kill her. But Franklin Richards, being the insanely powerful human that he is going to bring her back to life, and that's the reason Dr. Doom wants Franklin Richards, because he wants to bring someone back to life. I'm gonna make another theory video about that later, but this is, I think, what we're seeing. This is Franklin meeting his mom right after he resurrects her, and I think this is going to be a really cool scene as well. In this part of the trailer is my favorite shot. It's the Thing with a rock, beard, and Human Torch carrying him while yelling at him to say, "It's clobbering time." This is peak cinema. Now I know it looks kind of goofy, but it's a Thing in the comics, and the Thing can grow a beard, and he has done it in a few runs where he is basically immortal, can't die in his rock form. So once a year he turns into his human form for a week, and that basically allows him to grow a beard. When he turns back into the rock form, he gets the beard as a rock form. And I'm not gonna say that this is what's happening in the movie, since it's gonna take place during a short amount of time, but it's really cool to see Ben with a rock beard, and I'm so glad Matt Shakman is going all comic book with this movie, making it feel like a comic come to life, and I love this part. And this kind of oddly reminds me of the scene in Justice League, Joss Whedon's Justice League, where Cyborg carries Aquaman in the sky. They're just weirdly similar shots. But other than that, I really like this, and I think this is the part where Ben's gonna finally break and say it's clobbering time, and then, I don't know, maybe launch into Galactus's face and punch him really, really hard, because that would be really, really rad to see. And then we end with some high fives, Johnny using his flame powers, and we get the title card and the amazing score. Now this is how I think the movie is gonna go. We're gonna open with Fantastic Four fighting their classic villains. They're gonna defeat them. They're gonna become famous. We might see Sue getting rid of all the war and the hunger in the world. We're gonna see Reed develop all the technology. We're gonna see that they're really, really famous and they're really appreciated. And we have this Ted Gilbert show. And then this perfect utopian reality just falls apart when the Silver Surfer shows up. The Silver Surfer shows up. Everyone freaks out. They go out to meet Galactus. They see that Galactus is eating planets. They see Proxima Delphi being destroyed, and then they run away from him. Galactus wants Franklin, and after Silver Surfer chases them in space. When Galactus chases them to Earth, they think they're gonna stop them. Mole Man comes in to help get the civilians underground. The Fantastic Four is gonna fight Galactus above ground. After that, he's gonna try and get into the Baxter Building to get Franklin from them, but they're gonna fail. The Fantastic Four is gonna stop him, and at the end of it, Invisible Woman is going to use all her powers to push Galactus into this dimensional portal, black hole, whatever it is, or the negative zone. They could use the ultimate nullifier to scare him off, but at the end of it, Sue's going to use all her powers, pass away, then Franklin's going to come in, resurrect her, and that's how we will end the movie. And the post-credit scene will be, mark it down if you don't want to get it spoiled again, the post-credit scene will be Sue Storm reading Franklin Richards a storybook as he goes to sleep. As she gets up to get another book for the kid, she walks in, sees Franklin being held by Dr. Doom and unconscious. We don't see Doom's face, he's just holding Franklin in one hand and holding his Doom mask on the other. And then we'll get the screen that the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. Now, I think that Dr. Doom is going to use Franklin Richards to bring someone back to life so that he can make Battleworld and become God Emperor Doom. I'm gonna make a video on that later, but let me know what you think about this trailer. Let me know what you think about this breakdown. Put them in the comments below, like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.